Welcome to Planet Wekeza, where the financial security is trust. Sabrina, I'm your host, we learn all day and all night. Your money, business, investing, it's our family culture. Come and join the fun, empower yourself. Use yourself in my knowledge, let the information take control. I'm Planet Wekeza, where your financial rights are always those. Learn like there's no tomorrow. Feel the energy inside. We're the Wekeza.com nation. Let's groove and vibe. Groove and vibe.
In every heart, regardless of culture or birthplace, lies a deep yearning to prosper and be independent. Ou vleran souf epi, ou dwe an sécurité financière.
I now have a long-term financial plan.
Les soucis d'argent sont réels, mais je me ressource pour moi e ma famille.
Nunca acreditamos que poderíamos reconstruir o nosso legado, mas agora podemos.
Surayatu inayofuata imeanza.
What I teach my son, I teach my son's son.
From the African diaspora and across America, discover the power of Wekeza.
Sika kola bea ne sika awode beto ye wa mamere.
Sika merehia me homono soba me mpotam hofosum fasar.
Non lanui mum sunuker.
Build lifetimes of financial security.
Wekeza.
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 Wekeza! We speak your language. Wekeza. Connecting communities. Building financial futures. Join us now.
What if I told you your child could become an educated consumer, investor, entrepreneur, and a philanthropist, all from the comfort of your laptop or mobile phone?
And could learn how to manage one of the world's most powerful currencies, money.
It's true. I'm Sienna.
And I'm Dante, and we are both World of Money Youth Board members.
I know firsthand how life-changing it is to be financially capable. When I was 11, my parents enrolled me and my siblings in the World of Money Institute, where I learned how to budget, invest, and donate my money.
I first attended World of Money when I was 12, and now, like us, over 5,000 young people globally and growing. Your child also can become financially educated with the World of Money online course.
This award-winning financial education program is tailored for ages 7 through 21. Our course provides 160 self-guided lessons, videos, activities, quizzes, live homerooms, and scheduled town halls.
During the course, your child will learn about budgeting and saving, compound interest, artificial intelligence, and so much more.
Give your child the foundation for their financial security and generational wealth. Register for the World of Money online course today.
TheWorldOfMoney.org.
Developing financially responsible adults,
one child at a time.
And greetings, everyone. My name is Sabrina Lamb, the founder and CEO of Wekeza and the host of Planet Wekeza, where your culture is business and financial education, as well as prosperity. Here at Planet Wekeza, we introduce you to, if you don't know them already, to expert thought leaders in the space of not only culture, but financial education, entrepreneurship, as well as growth and scaling, and just making sure that you know that financial education and just prosperity is not anything that is separate or not aligned with the African diaspora. It is underscored and accented right here at Planet Wekeza. So today, our special guest is Devon Fanfair, a 2008 mechanical engineer graduate from Rice University. He is a seasoned entrepreneur and talent strategist with over 15 years of experience in venture-backed startups. As a co-manager and partner of Devon Venture Studios, Devon and his co-managing partner, Miles Dotson, have realized over $100 million in value. Prior to founding Devon Venture Studios, Devon worked in engineering and human resources roles, reflecting his passion for problem solving and human connection, which he has leveraged to sculpt executives and drive people development initiatives. With a track record of launching successful companies in consumer goods, manufacturing, and deep tech, Devon believes in the power of the studio model for repeatable success. Devon believes in the power of the studio model for repeatable success, and because his extensive network of founders and investors have established him as a trusted figure in company building, making him a valuable addition to solving the gap in venture between idea stage to sustain revenue. Most recently, he is appointed as the managing director of Techstars Tulsa, and I am honored that Devon Fanfair is joining us here today at Planet Wekeza. Hello, Devon.
Hey, how we doing, Planet Wekeza? How are you?
I am great. So there's so many questions that I have to ask you and that I'm sure our audience will be interested and need to know. But first, would you please share your personal and entrepreneurial journey?
Yeah, Sabrina, thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate the opportunity to share. The intro was great. I think we're done here, so we can wrap it. It was a great intro. Just kidding. So my personal experience in entrepreneurship, it's I've always been the type of person that feels that an idea can turn into something that is irritating. If you sit with it long enough, it could turn into something that's intriguing. And if you sit with that long enough, it could turn into an innovation. Einstein says the smartest person in the room is not the smartest person in the room, but it's the person that is willing to think about a problem long enough. So I got an engineering degree. Being in Houston, not to go into oil and gas, if we're being honest, even though that's where they kind of want you to go. I just love the idea of problem solving and the method of problem solving. So even when I was at Rice, while running track and going through my engineering degree, I was working on projects out of curiosity. Like in 2005, can we create wireless headphones? Because those didn't exist. And I realized, which kind of speaks to the talent background that I have, is not to jump around, but when Facebook first came out, we were school number 15, I think. And I was in Facebook and I was looking around. And I said, wait a minute, I'm sitting in Facebook, my campus, in a real life, jump into the screen, Facebook. And I said, I will never be surrounded by this much talent ever again in my life, from professors, postdoc, undergrad, masters. So I just went on these ideas and curiosities of, can I create wireless headphones? Well, I had the leading electrical engineer professor, and then I had the leading mechanical engineer professor, and then I had, I was just asking them questions after questions, realizing like, oh, things that don't exist are possible. You just have to ask the right questions, either be in the right room, find the right room, get into the right room, and just continue to follow the trail. So that's where this idea of leaving your indelible mark. There's just got to be more to the 9 to 5 American dream. So that's where I kind of got into this idea of, I can create something, and if I had anything that I could bring my friends, my classmates to the table, we can conquer the world. So this entrepreneurship mindset has always been around. I've just been on a 20-year journey understanding how to commercialize it. Right. So that's kind of a journey, a number of opportunities. If you talk to my wife, she's like, you look in the garage, you'll see half of my projects there. But just being here to share this and to serve based on my experience, I'm really excited about.
So you're at Rice, engineering. No, I'm not going to do the oil and gas. And so you love to problem solve. What makes an entrepreneur a successful entrepreneur? Or is that the trait of being, the foundational trait of being an entrepreneur, problem solving?
I think is a combination of things, right? I think it's curiosity. I think it's obsession. I mean that in a positive way. There are things that our mind just does not stop thinking about, and there has to be a reason why, right? So being able to explore those obsessions, I think one of the advantages and gifts that I had is I would say I went into a spiritual incubator to understand my purpose, my mission, why I'm here. I feel personally that I have lived a life of being over cared for. True or not, that was my perspective. So everything that I do and say yes to is my question is, does this make the end user feel over cared for? Because my mission in life is if I can be a part of something where people feel over cared for, they will take that excess care and use it to care for someone else. And now we've created a good a viral effect of care. So uh, knowing who you are and why you are and your purpose is important. Also understanding your limits, like where are your superpowers? um, where are your weaknesses, and not trying, there you go, balloons, not trying to um, like be strong where you're weak, but we can't do this on our own. It just doesn't work. So being able to build relationships, understand where you're weak, and being clear and confident and excited about your flaws and your weaknesses, because that's going to help you identify who you need on the journey in order to be successful. So being really confident in what you know and being even more confident in what you don't know. I think those are things that make for success.
So it sounds like also there's a layer there that some people start businesses to make money when I'm hearing you, I think I'm hearing you say that there needs to be a deeper meaning to be an entrepreneur, particularly if you're focused on one particular type of business.
Yeah, uh, money can't be number one, two, and three. Um, there's whether we have it or not, there's so much money out in the world. Like when I went to Rice, they were like, "Hey, listen, every class is going to be hard. So do what you love, because hard is going to be there no matter what." So I think in order to be sustainable, um, in order to scale, in order to achieve these big visions that we all have for ourselves, money is deeply important, but it can't be the driving force. And if it is, you will get to a limit. And if that limit is your goal, congratulations. But you will hit a limit. You'll hit a mental limit. You'll hit a physical limit. You'll hit an emotional limit. You hit a spiritual limit. You personally may tap out before you get to that goal. So money's everywhere. We just have to call it. Just like, when you talk about the different types of rounds in fundraising, you think about angels. It's wild that they call it angels because theoretically angels are everywhere, and your angel investors are all around you. You just have to call them literally into existence by that mission, that purpose, that obsession, that fixation that drives you into creating your business, scaling your business.
Stay with us at Planet Wekeza, we'll be right back. Stay with us at Planet Wekeza, we'll be right back.
We're speaking with Devon Fanfair. He is the managing director of Techstars Tulsa. And before we get to that, and an important that, talk about your experience and what was the genesis of you and your co-managing partner, Miles Dotson, in founding Devon Venture Studios. What problems were you solving?
I'm glad you asked. So, what drove Devland? Failure. That's what drove Devland. Um, I didn't realize that I could raise a significant amount of capital for ideas. Um, and I started doing that. And I didn't know that was not in, 2017, 2018. I didn't know that being in Houston as a young black male raising capital that had nothing to do with healthcare, finance, real estate, or energy was a big deal, or was a thing. So that was the first step into exploring ideas, getting to viability of ideas, then raising capital, and then not understanding the whole life cycle of venture and how this works. That turns into a failure. And my partner was like, hold on, man, we didn't fail. You do realize that we have experienced more than a significant amount of our peers have. Look how much we've learned. And that's when I was like, huh, maybe depression doesn't have to feel so depressed. So we started writing curriculum around what we learned. Not what they theoretically say that must be, because market changes, but really around who we are, why we are, what we went after, what worked, what didn't work. And that's what led to a venture studio. We created this curriculum. We realized, based on our failures, we realized that um, with our community of brilliant builders and entrepreneurs, that trust is a really big factor in helping us grow. So we created the curriculum in the first few years. We gave out as much free information as possible, because the reason I did go into oil and gas, spoiler alert, because that's what you do in Texas, and I got out of oil and gas. And we realized that uh, we want to play in an abundant mindset space, and that is innovation, creation, entrepreneurship, startup versus scarcity. Now, in your startup, you may create scarcity mechanisms to drive customers, but it's out of abundance, right? It's out of discovery that you create what you create. So we built our reputation capital for 3 years, just giving out as much information as possible. Then we recognized, like, oh, we find patterns, and we've built trust. So we created an entrepreneur in residence program. We had about 100 entrepreneurs come through our program. We built 19 companies. And then, entrepreneurs are hyper focused in the thing that they need to build, because if you don't build it, they won't come. So we were able to kind of give the 30,000 square foot view, understand how to talk to VCs, and understand, what development team needs from a product standpoint, and just kind of fill in the gap, because no one at the time was giving us a $50 million check to run a fund. Thankfully, I know that's wild, but we're very grateful that we didn't have that type of abundance in that specific resource, because we got in the trenches with the founders to help build in every way possible. And that's the venture studio model. That honestly, venture studio wasn't even a thing commercially in 2017, 2018. So we built that out of the void. And those companies, 9 of those companies, have reached price rounds to now we've crossed like the 150 million mark in our kind of, portfolio companies, assets under management from that. So the venture studio was built out the void. We did it out the mud. And we have a saying that says advisors do work. So we're not just going to throw darts and, put our hands over our head, and we're going to get in the trenches. And that's what we're able to do. And we became operators that led us into building ecosystems and supporting ecosystems, and continuing the work that we're doing.
You might consider those portfolio companies as your babies, but which baby kind of resonates do you think about today in terms of their growth from idea to execution and being a success? And if possible, name that company.
Yeah. So babies, I'm glad you brought that term up because I have a not so baby by the name of Sage. She's 9 years old, and she's already one of the coldest entrepreneurs that I've ever met, as you are aware, since you met her. The one thing, these are not our babies. I don't know about you, but I don't plan on selling my children, but I do plan on selling these businesses. And one that comes to mind is Rain Ventures. They founder, he exited EdTech platform that used a little bit of computer vision, and he didn't know what he wanted to do next. right? And normally an accelerator is like, I have this idea, I have this, it's working a little bit, help me accelerate to get it to market. Or the idea of an incubator, it's like, oh, I have this really strong idea. I know exactly what I want to do. Just help me get to a place where I can get to MVP. Well, a venture studio is really like negative 1-to-1. And that founder showed up and was like, hey, I've heard about you guys. I just exited this edtech platform. Got a couple curiosities. Don't really know what I want to do next. We're like, great, let's talk. So my partner, they would meet pretty consistently. Turns out that he wanted to solve a problem in fire suppression. Wildfires are going crazy. Turns out that the computer vision from the edtech platform could also help detecting and getting to wildfires. And we went from, they went from throwing a camera on a 6-rig drone and having a little Pokemon capsule drop water to put out a fire in under 15 minutes, because everyone knows when a fire starts, but if you can't get to it within 15 minutes, then that's when it gets out of control, to the tragedies that we have recently seen and in the past as well. From that to landing a completely, creating autonomous Blackhawks to now going into any environment and putting out fires again in under any or most kind of tough circumstances. So that's one that comes to mind, and that it's a great story. They're doing incredibly well, and learn a lot. You learn a lot from the fails, and you actually learn a lot from the successes too, because you get to pick up patterns. And all of this is data that allows us to meet with founders like yourself and tell you everything that worked and everything that didn't, and how it specifically can fit your model. Because the more successes, Sabrina, we need 1,000 more Sabrinas, 10,000 more Sabrinas in this world. We need 10,000 more Devlands, So we really need to continue this abundant mindset and share as much as possible. And that's where we are. We just want to share.
Fantastic. So there came a time, and I'm envisioning all of this, that you received an email or a phone call or a text message. And again, I'm envisioning this scenario that said, hey, let's sit down and talk about this opportunity in Tulsa. But first, as you go into that story, what is Techstars? For those who don't know, what is Techstars?
Yeah, Techstars is a global accelerator.
What's an accelerator?
Right.
What's an accelerator?
So I wish there were more accelerators. Let me start there. But an accelerator is I have an idea. I've pursued my idea. I've gotten to an MVP. I'm starting to learn about my, customer acquisition strategies, or I think that I have enough proof to believe that if I had some resources and some fine tuning, that this can actually scale. And by scale, reaching when you sleep, you wake up to more adoption or more money in your own account. Can it work without you? Can it, reach millions? And now, with AI, which we can talk about later, but that's an accelerator. An accelerator sees that you already have some pretty significant momentum. You're willing to take certain risk and kind of be on that island to your family and your friends, because they don't really know what you're doing. And most importantly, they don't know why you're doing it, because you left your good job in order to throw yourself on Gilligan's Island and try to find your way back to land. So that's what an accelerator is. And Techstars is the best in the world. It's a global accelerator. We have about 35 programs. And we put some real capital into these founders. To be completely honest, once we invest, in some ways that founder becomes a millionaire. They have majority ownership of their company. Once we invest, their company has a valuation, meaning we're investing X amount of dollars at, public knowledge, 3 million, 3 to 5 mil. So at that point, we're making millionaires, and it's then we go through 13 weeks of um, like beautifully choreographed hardcore workshops to help you understand what it means to be an executive, to help you understand what it means to grow your company and scale, and to adopt good habits as you build and grow your team, putting every resource around you, because now you're part of Techstars portfolio. And the best thing a portfolio company can do after investment is full on support to do everything possible to help you achieve the vision that you sold yourself on and that you sold us on. And being in Tulsa, at this point, we are the only underrepresented program globally, and possibly the largest underrepresented accelerator in the country. So I am beyond grateful to be in this seat. And yeah, I don't know how many questions you're going to have around this Techstar situation, because I'm still trying to find words to explain the gratitude and the joy I have doing this work as the MD and your MD.
Same here. So there's Techstar locations all over the world, as you said, but what's unique for you in terms of accepting this very important responsibility made Tulsa unique? Maybe the offer could have come from Toronto or Norway.
Yep.
What about Tulsa that you said, I'm in?
Yeah, so any opportunity to work in the Techstars universe is a gift. And Tulsa specifically, so DevLand, we started to gain our reputation capital and our executive function capital around the country. And to be in Tulsa, they were rebuilding the ecosystem that is basically a modern day Black Wall Street from 1920s, early 1920s. And George Kaiser and the George Kaiser Family Foundation decided to create a new type of archetype for billionaires. What happens if, instead of spreading your billions wide, what happens if you point it directly into a specific space around economic development? And it just so happened to be in Tulsa. And for those of you who don't know the history, 100 plus years ago, there was a 40 block thriving Black community of entrepreneurs that came from all over the country to build a strong economy in every way imaginable. And that was completely destroyed. And we were called in to be part of that kind of resurgence from a tech ecosystem standpoint. And our Entrepreneur in Residence program, we created one here. And it was actually 2021, 100 years later, we were able to fly 70 BIPOC founders in around the country to experience a reflection on the last 100 years, and then reflect on the next 100 years. And what I feel, and I think this is the gift that we get to be here to build on our ancestors' highly innovative and entrepreneurial legacies, is what would have happened if that deep disturbance massacre didn't happen. Terrorist attack on U.S. land by U.S. Citizens. What would have happened to the kids of the Black Wall Street entrepreneurs? Who would they be now? They would be the Bronnies of the world. They would be, the Magic Johnsons of the world. They would be the George Foreman Juniors of the world. They would be, and that's us. I think that's it was 2021, 10:29 p.m. We had a candlelight vigil. I was like, why 10:29? Like, oh, that's the time. It's either 10:29 or 10:31. That's the time where the first gunshot went off that set off everything. So you have a couple thousand people in the on Greenwood Avenue at that time. Light rain. We had our candle lights, not enough to burn the candle out, just enough to create this very eerie feeling. And you can hear through the sadness the hope that still exists. And I thought about, I was like, man, who would those kids have been? And I look at you, I look at, this entire ecosystem. I'm like, oh, that's us. So um, you can't make this up. I don't know more. I, I, life is too good to exaggerate, and there's no exaggeration in this. We get to build and continue a legacy, and we get to do it in an exponential way because of technology. So, um, if you can't tell how bought in I am to the legacy of Tulsa, we can talk offline some more.
Same here. As I say all the time that Wekeza is perfectly aligned to the history and the hope and the determination of Tulsa, and I'm honored to be here. So for all of Planet Wekeza's podcast listeners who have an idea, have a business, would like to apply to Techstars Tulsa, how can they start to think about their application to make their application stand out to the thousands that Techstars receive?
Yeah, great question, because we are one program that we actually, great timing. We actually have applications for our fall cohort that starts in September. Opening
Can I come back?
I wish you could. I mean, listen, you can always pull up. The world of Wekeza, what you just stated on why Wekeza is so perfect for Tulsa was something that I don't even think I could share with you during our interviews because I would get too emotional. So as soon as we first met, I was like, oh yeah, she's got to be here. It's a must. So we do have applications opening up in, I think, the second week of April. So next week or the following week. And I think what stands out is just being authentic to why you're doing this, being thoughtful. Sometimes it's easy, I don't hate, no knock to anyone, because we got to do what we got to do. Going beyond throwing the questions in the application into chat and then just, hitting copy paste. Your video is very compelling. That's an area that sometimes, people may skip over. It's not a immediate cancel, but it is helpful because you get to see, there's 8 billion people in the world, and everyone has thought of every idea. Let's be honest. I have no problem sharing my ideas to the whole world, because if it's an idea that came from my soul, to get something out and to stick with something as long as needed to get to sustainability or scalability, it's going to take one step before your soul. So if people want to try it, great. So I just want to know, what makes you the one to solve the problem, and how do you, what's led to that is also important. And yeah, those are things that are factors. I don't want to fit anyone into any certain box by any means. If you look at the entire portfolio of the entire cohort, there's just something different, about each. And passion, authenticity, and thoughtfulness in the application goes a long way, and the ability to scale. Go ahead.
And what about traction? Should applicants have revenues coming in, or can they be at the idea stage?
Yeah, it depends. It's a little bit of both. I don't want to cap that as well. There are certain projects that take a lot of R&D, and I understand that the level of traction doesn't look like someone who has, maybe a CPG brand that can scale significantly. So I look into that. There's different strategies of traction. There's different metrics of traction. You could be, NSF grants or SBIR grants. That's traction. That's amazing validation.
What is SBIR for those who don't know?
Yeah. So you know what? I don't know what SBIR stands for. Do you know what SBIR stands for?
No.
Yeah. So you can get an SBIR grant. So there's, everyone's heard of B2C,
Yes.
business to customer, B2B, business to business. There's also B2G, business to government. The government has NSF, which is actual grant, and then they have Air Force has their own, contracts, and DoD, DOE, Department of Energy, um, maybe Department of Health, and those happen in called SBIR grants, phase 1, phase 2. So definitely look into that, especially if you're in the R&D space. They love that. So to your point, traction can mean a number of things. I'm not looking just for how much money are you making a month. I'm looking for other signals that can say, hey, if they become venture backed and fine tune a few things, we can get to scale. So I do have a recruiting background, and the average, well, back in the day, AI probably takes everything now, but the average recruiter would review a resume in 20 seconds or less. And we've had a significant amount of applications from the last cohort. And I take my time with each one. I want to give it the same energy that it was given. So just, as a FYI, like, I'm looking for all of the signals that can point in the right direction to say this could be something that can hit now, this could be something that can hit in the future. First, irrefutable law of leadership: believe in the leader, and then you believe in the products that the leader has. So I'm investing in leaders, and then I'm investing in ideas and solutions and strategies beyond that.
So for everyone that's listening, write down SBIR.gov for more information on SBIR. It's a government grant portal. It's a lot of information there if you're looking to fund your business as well as to grow your business across technology. It's SBIR.gov. And our final minute, Mr. Devon Fanfair, the Managing Director of Techstars. What is the final pearl of wisdom? And thank you for pouring empathy in each of myself and my fellow founders in the development and the learning of how to improve our businesses. But what's the final piece of advice I didn't ask you about that you want the world to know?
Yeah, thanks for asking. This was fun. Time went by real fast. So, the final words of wisdom is we're human beings first, and we're human doing second. So everything that I do, everyone that I address, I'm going to address you as a human being first, and then a human doing second. And I think we need to consider that we are human beings first. There's never enough time in the day, right? Go hard, all that stuff. But if we don't care for ourselves first, then we are not going to get to the finish line. And leave that indelible mark that we really want to leave. I don't think that time is our greatest asset. I think that's a lie. I think energy is our greatest asset. So if there are certain things that reduce your time to execute but increase your energy, I guarantee, like Charles Barkley would say, that you're going to move the needle to get to your vision in a way that time won't even matter. So I think that's what I want to leave with.
And where can everyone learn more about Techstars and Techstars Tulsa?
Yep, you can go to if you Google "Build in Tulsa Techstars," "Build in Tulsa Techstars," you will see our website and all information that speaks about this Tulsa program in general, or you can go to techstars.com to understand how the entire program works and some potential exciting updates that could be coming up pretty soon. So.
Excellent. And to learn more about Wekeza, visit WEKEZA and sign up for the wait list. We provide multilingual financial education and global access to investing in U.S. stocks as well as ETFs and exciting live events serving the African diaspora. We also partner with schools, financial institutions, businesses, and of course, all of you. Wekeza.com. Thank you so much, Devon Fanfair, Managing Director of Techstars Tulsa. Thank you so much for joining Planet Wekeza. Be well and prosper.
I guess.
Thank you for joining us on Planet Wekeza, where inside shines so bright. Grateful for your company from morning till night. Your journey in money, business and investing has just taken flight. You're part of our family in empowerment we unite. On Planet Wekeza, where your financial dreams ignite. With the Wekeza.com nation, together our futures are bright.